I admire the chances that you take on stage, but I don't admire the chances you take on this podcast. We on yet?
Yeah. I started.
Oh, hey, episode 3. You know we're gonna get canceled.
That's fine.
I just don't want to bother people to the point where we might lose our day jobs because I like my job.
Well,
I like my day job. I like my day job. I'm passionate about my work that I do, casino work, shows in my work, but comedy's my goal, my craft.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You like your day job.
Nice to say? Like if.
Yeah, that's a good thing to say, especially
not
if
that I care what people think. Not that I care.
You just said, but then you asked me, does that sound nice? So you already care what I think. You see what I'm saying?
God, I got problems. I gotta go back to my therapist or something.
You say how you feel.
Yeah.
People, you can say the nicest thing and somebody's going to find something wrong with it all the time, especially me. I like pissing people off.
I'm going to be labeled
it gives me
as the sensitive comedian if we ever get fans off this shit. God forbid. How you doing, Bri?
I'm good, man. Yeah, living large.
Keeping busy?
Yep.
How's the golf course?
I feel the same way as you about the golf course. I'm good at it, and I can make a career out of it, but I just don't want to. You know what I mean? It's not like where the real.
I don't feel that way.
Real passion lies.
I don't feel that way about like if casino work becomes my bread and butter my whole life, it wouldn't be the worst thing. But the best thing would be if comedy takes off. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the same thing. I could definitely make it. I mean, it's my bread and butter now, same as you.
Yeah.
And I could make it, career. I just don't. It's like not what I want to be doing.
Right.
My job doesn't pay enough for bread and butter. Like you're getting,
getting one or the other.
You're getting one or the other.
Italian term, bread and butter?
I don't know. You guys do that? You guys bread and butter?
Bread and butter means it's your scuttle. I know that's not true.
I knew I could get you. You fall into it every time. Scuttle. What's a scuttle? Did I say that right?
Scuttle's a vegetable, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a delicious vegetable that Italians love. I'll speak for all Italians.
Now you can do it. Look, talk about the Italian food. They take that very seriously. What does it look like? It looks like greens or something?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Is that how you pictured it?
No, I just picked something. Wow, you got pork in it too?
No, we usually put what do they call that that Italian bacon? What's that called? No, there's a word for it.
Yeah, like pancetta.
Pancetta. Now that's tell me that word ain't gangster. Come
Italian bacon. Does the pig have to be Italian? For it to come off
slaughtered by an Italian.
No, you're telling me pancetta.
Pancetta is amazing.
Somebody said tonight we have pancetta. Oh, I'm sold.
Yeah. Pancetta
That's a fancy
is good.
name.
That is a fancy name. It costs too.
That's not the only fancy Italian meat. What about gabagool?
I don't understand. What is that?
Gabagool, prosciutto.
What is that? Is that a cow, pig? What is that?
You got a portrait of? Are you still not set up for that yet?
I didn't hook it up again. I keep forgetting, dude. Forgetting.
So hold on. Are greens?
Set him up to do the video. He said, "Oh, I'll bring up pictures of anything you want."
He wants to wait till his check clears. He's like, when the check clears, there won't be extra pictures and stuff yet.
That's funny. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm breaking your balls. You're doing terrific.
Thank you.
So wait, are greens really greens, and y'all just called it another name?
No, but you know what what Italians do that I noticed with anything healthy.
He didn't answer the question.
Wait, I got a problem with that. Say that. Let's start over.
Are they just regular greens, and y'all just called them a different name?
No, it's not the same thing.
No,
it's not the same thing. It's like a leafy vegetable. Escarole soup is a really big, big thing.
A leafy vegetable. That's what greens are. They're leaf vegetable.
No, the common dish is the common dish is scuttle and beans.
Yeah,
very common dish. Yeah, you eat it with like bread, Italian bread. It's delicious.
So, but it's not made of like is it the raw material before you cook it? Is it greens?
Yeah.
Oh, so it is greens.
Yeah.
And then you just put different seasoning. Now it's something totally different.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to get into before I didn't answer your question.
Oh, okay. There, now we got answers.
I'm sorry.
Here we go.
Why would I apologize for that? See what I'm doing? No, but what I'm noticing as I get older, I was like always at a young age. I loved vegetables, compared to other people around me. And no one could ever understand that. Let me finish. I figured out why. All the women and men in my family that cook, they turn everything healthy into something terrible for you. They deep fry it, put salt and pepper. It's like
it's the only way it's good.
Like
it's the only way it's good.
Yeah, like let's put bacon in your vegetable.
Absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
Why would you do
bacon, that? Bacon makes everything better. Everything better. If your sex is not good, wrap it in bacon. Swear to God, it'll be better. It'll be better. Bacon and cheese. Cheese is wonderful.
Well,
cheese helps everything.
Listen, Italians put cheese. Everything's Parmesan. What do you want? What do you want? Everything. Parmesan. Well, why do they call it Parmesan? That's they got to put that. Like,
I didn't think for Italian. Italians are great. If it wasn't for Italians, everything would be cheese. You ask black people, it's cheese. It's cheese and it's government cheese. And the other one is white cheese.
Wait,
and that's orange cheese.
Government cheese. What's that?
Well, you know, look, people with money never even heard of it.
I don't
have you heard
money?
Of the government, right? The last show you said you had $400 shoes on for no reason. You weren't going to a funeral
that was in
or wedding.
A previous story that took place a while ago because I'm not a violent guy. Remember we talked about that. It was years ago when I could afford $400 I had a good year back in 2017.
That's some gangster shit. I had a good year.
All right.
Yeah, I like it. I like hearing it.
Good job,
I like
Mike.
hearing it.
You're definitely winning in the ball breaking category. You're doing terrific. Mike 10, Steve 2. It's just I don't know.
But I love Italian. But that's another thing we love about Italians. We love the gangster shit, and we love the food. Italians, y'all probably one of the best. I'm not going to say you're better than black people because we're black, but you guys are definitely runners up.
I've been at shows where you say things. You just say it. You just say it. And I'm like, oh my God, he
and
went
you know
there,
what? They love it.
With it. I admire the chances that you take on stage, but I don't admire the chances you take on this podcast. I don't admire them, Mike. I'm learning too much about myself. You got to stop it. You got to stop.
But that's what stand-up is. Stand-up is that's what comedy is. Comedy is everything you want to say to your boss and the people you hate and maybe your wife or kids that you can't say at home. And that's our job as a comic to say it.
Well, okay. Yeah, okay. And certain comics, if that's your style.
Yeah, that's what made me fall in love with comedy.
Don't say all comics. It's comedy is very opinion. Everybody has a taste for a certain type of comedy. Adam Sandler ain't that way. He ain't that type of comedian.
Well,
you don't
Adam
talk
Sandler?
Shit on people.
Well, he's a Jew.
And you said say shit to your boss. You said say shit. I'm a manager.
I know. If I worked for you, I probably wouldn't like you either. But I don't, so our friendship. Friendship works.
That's so funny you say that. The late and great Chris Cotton, who I absolutely loved and respected, great stand-up comic, great friend of mine, used to say to me all the time that he's like, Rinaldi, just do me a favor, don't talk about your day job around me. And I would say, Chris, why are you saying that? He's like, because you're a manager and you got a good job, and I'm happy you got a good job because this comedy game is rough, and I'm you got to get funnier, you got to get better. He's like, that's you got a day job. I respect that. I respect your hustle. You're out here, you're working for a living. He's like, but you got to understand something. In my head, if someone's a manager or would manage me, they're just automatically a dickhead.
Oh yeah.
He thinks like managers universally are assholes.
Don't you agree, Brian? You agree?
I'm a manager also.
Oh shit! Oh. Two assholes.
No, you like So you're saying Chris Cotton was right? Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up around me.
Most people don't like their boss. Most people, because the boss is an authoritative figure that tells other people what to do. You don't like, and they make more money than you at the same time.
Tells you what to do. No, because the way I manage is, and I'm not being cheesy, I work for you. You don't work for me. I'm trying to make your job great.
See, most managers don't think that way.
But if I said that to you at your job right now, what would you say when I walked away?
Fucking liar.
You wouldn't appreciate me saying that?
You got to prove that.
Oh,
Talk. A
God,
lot of people
Mike.
talk. A lot of people talk. You know, I had some manager kind of say that to me in the beginning, and then he would come into the bathroom and see feet under there, and time how long he's seen those shoes under that stall.
You're saying it's a thing where talk is cheap.
Yeah.
Show me, don't tell me.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, if you would have said that to me and
Definitely.
gave me a raise,
but like I
at the
said,
same time,
Mike, I'm the when I manage at my job, I like to get involved. I like to work. I like to stay busy. You know, I like to lead by example, and I want to make the job great for everybody. I genuinely try that.
And those are the bosses you respect. Those are
Yeah,
the bosses you respect when you see that. But most bosses aren't. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I was a boss, I wouldn't be that anyway. Get the fucking work. What's wrong with you? Like, just probably why I'm not. But
did you say you hated your job now?
Yeah.
Do realize if this will be out there forever unless we delete it?
I tell them I hate
them. If
them.
they look you up on a job interview, you might not get the job now if you apply for a...
If this takes off, I'm not going to no job interviews. This is the point of this, you know? But now, okay, so you were an employee at one point.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And how did you feel about your
You know
boss?
what it is? I think I moved up at a pretty quick pace in the casino industry, and I remember how people would talk to me and give me direction, and I would say most of the time, early on, it wasn't the right way. They didn't talk to me the right way, or they were a little quote unquote dicks early on, and I never forgot that. And I always said to myself, if I'm ever in a position where I can lead or be a manager, I'm gonna treat people the way I want to be spoken to. I have some casino horror stories, dude. You wouldn't believe, like being a casino dealer for the games. It used to be an abusive job. It used to be a very abusive job.
Abusive, like they
verbally abusive.
Oh, that's not abusive.
You know, you're like, I'm dealing to you, and you're in for $500, and you can't win a hand. Some people think I'm beating you. It's me as your dealer, and they'll curse you.
Well, let me see this.
Shit.
Let me tell you this. When
I just work, I'm working for the company. This is my job.
I understand that, but since we can't find that guy, you were the one that took the chips. That's how we see it. You were the one that took the chips. So I don't know him. I know you say you may give it to him later, but what I see now as I'm losing it, that's where that comes from.
And my job as a manager is to walk around to people like you and explain to you, sir, don't blame them, blame me. I'm the man. Don't talk disrespectful to my staff. Don't like I defend. I don't deal with that. Being abusive, verbally abusive.
I know you do. And if you guys check out the last video, God. We talked about how he doesn't like to be talked to, whether you're old or not. He doesn't he doesn't do the verbal abuse.
Those were two situations in the 10 years you know me. Really? Come on.
You sound like the husband of a wife beater. I only hit you twice, and you brought it on yourself. Like. Do you like managers that at your current job? I have one manager that I do. I have a couple managers that I do. You got a manager
right now that you fuck with, like
yeah. I have a couple managers that I do like, but they earned it from the door. I hate you.
Is it
you? You earned that.
But I'm saying, isn't it a good feeling when you know you're showing up from work and you're gonna be with them for the day? You're like, oh, this is great. Like I don't. It makes you enjoy the experience more, right?
It makes it bearable. Yeah, it really does make it bearable. I've never liked, but I'm the negative. I've never liked any job I've ever done besides doing comedy.
See, but that's the interesting thing about stand up as somebody that's currently in a working environment with a HR department and stuff like that. Is like stand up. There's no HR. There's no boss if a headliner talks to you out of. Like disrespectful. You're on your own. You got to step up to people. If a headliner starts talking shit to you, or they're being catty and talking to the feature or talking to the MC, whatever position you are in the lineup, you might be headlining. There's very rarely you have anybody to back you up.
And
You're alone.
That's great. That's great. Especially if you're on stage, because people don't understand your job. If you're not a headliner and you're on the show, your job is to be better than the headliner. That's how you become a headliner at that club.
With that mindset.
Yeah.
With that mindset.
But
you're featuring because the guy headlining is a killer, dude.
Is a killer. But sometimes
or they're selling tickets.
Yeah, they're selling tickets. Sometimes all headliners aren't good headliners. Or that headliner can have a bad night. Everybody has bad nights. No matter how famous you are, you go out there, you're trying some new stuff and it doesn't land, or you say one wrong thing to somebody, lose the crowd. Anything can happen. But your job as a feature to get to that next spot is to hopefully be better than that headliner.
I got a question. So do some people like tour or travel, like some headliners travel with comedians that they know aren't as funny to make them look better? Is that a
I believe
thing?
so. I would imagine that.
I don't.
Some of them, not all. I believe some of them probably would.
There's some comics that take dudes on the road that can just slay, because or female comics that just they want to follow somebody that's gonna rip a hole into them, like make me work tonight. They like that.
Yeah, there are some like that.
But
then there are some the other way too.
And then there's other that they really. I mean, we've been around it for a while, but
if you have to go, if you get the privilege and opportunity to be able to tour with you want the kind of comic that wants you to slay. And I respect that kind of comic, because that kind of comic is like, I'm not worried about how good you do. It's not going to affect me. I'm a beast. I'm going to win this regardless because I'm a headliner. And that's your job to be. But I've had shows where I go on where you can do better than the headliner, and then they complain to the booker, like, why you got me following this guy? Or he will say,
wow,
that guy was terrible. That guy was terrible, and now I got to bring the crowd back up. There's those kind of comics. And as a headliner, you're supposed to be able to win no matter what situation happens.
But that goes back to the start of this conversation, is about how in this game of stand-up, you're on your own for a really long time until you have a great manager, agent. Like, I've heard people talk over the years about how why Kevin Hart has such a great reputation is because he built a team around him where when shit started to take off for him, he didn't have to deal with a lot of bullshit on that end.
Mm-hmm.
It is,
which
is
important.
Crazy. He's had such a great career, but he has a manager to pick out on these things. Like, he could just that's the goal. You want to get. I'm just using him as an example, but like if you're unhappy with something the club did or who they put in front of you, I would think that the way it's handled, or at least I've been told before, is that you call your representation. You say, hey, listen, the guy they put in front of me, I turned the crowd off tonight. Can you make a call, maybe tell them to switch the host with the feature? Did you ever be on a show where they did that? They switched the host and the feature?
I've heard I've heard a headliner complain, but I've never seen them actually switch.
Oh, no.
Actually switch. Well, I haven't worked with I guess no one big enough that can pull that. That can pull that card.
Yeah, well, when I was doing shows before the pandemic with the Funny Bones, I worked with a lot of draws, a lot of great comedians, and it's funny when you get into a certain point in the game where it's like, this is what you do. It's completely different. My mindset going to a comedy club as an opener compared to the guy that's doing 15 TV auditions a week, voiceover acting for a commercial, currently a star on this sitcom, and he's doing his set this weekend. He's thinking about this, his fans that are there. Where me, I'm still growing. I'm still getting better. I'm trying to perfect my act, It's just...
the one thing I wanted to start doing, a change up in my comedy, is I always would go on the stage. Before I go on, I'm like, I gotta make these people laugh. I gotta make everybody laugh. Like that's my mindset. Like I want everybody to laugh, and I'm looking in the crowd to see who's not laughing while I'm talking. But that messes up, and that's why I end up doing crowd work. because I always want everybody to be involved and everybody laughing. But I want to stop. I want to stop doing that and stop being so much in my head, and just do my material and just be me. Do however you're feeling, because there's a level of confidence when you go up there that you can be comfortable on stage, but then there's another level of confidence when you're telling jokes. You know how you have your set that you know that works all the time? Like you have certain jokes that
yeah, but then you get sick of your act and it becomes real.
But what I'm saying about that feeling, like, you know, when you have a joke that you like, here we go, I'm about to throw this out, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? There's a different level of confidence. When I throw this other joke out, you throw it out with a swag, like, yeah, you're going to laugh right after this. This is how this works. Like, you know what I mean? And I was watching Chris Rock last night, a stand-up, and I can't remember. I think it was Bigger, Blacker, that stand-up, and it was so flawless because there were no gaps. There were punchlines. There was no gaps, and he just went.
When was this from?
He wrote. It might have been 2000. It might have been 1999. One of those, something like that. But that's always what makes it. He's so structured, but it's also what's his confidence. Like, I'm gonna throw all these out. Boom, 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 boom. Like, he couldn't wait to get to the next dope because, like, you thought you laughed at this one, you're gonna die on this one. And I need to have that mindset when I'm on stage, even if it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that makes people almost like, you know how people walk up. You know how people have a nice car and wear a nice change and it looks like they have a lot of money and you think they do, and then they live with their mom. Like, you believe it.
That was also the beginning of our friendship.
Well,
that was me. You thought I had money.
I didn't have chains or anything like that.
I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
Remember, you would say you're complaining about being poor, but you're wearing all this new shit. And then I would tell you I live with my mother. You were like, it makes sense.
Yeah. My mom put me out, so I couldn't stay there.
Took them 28 years to boot me. No, I love my parents. I'm just busting balls. But no, it's just crazy how this comedy's just such a humbling game.
Oh, it is.
It's just so humbling.
It is. I remember. There's still nights I'll go and do an amazing show and kill it. Then you start to feel some type of way about yourself. Like, I can do this. I run this. This is nothing. Then you go to another one and get nothing. No laughs.
Yeah, what's starting to happen to me is
nothing.
I enjoy it more when I'm doing crowd work and being organically and naturally funny up there. Where it's funny with you, I know you hosted a lot very early on. And you hate you get enough. You hate doing crowd work.
I'm good at it, and I don't like when I get off stage and they say, "Yo, your crowd work is great. Oh, the way you just switch in and out and all that." I was like, "Yeah, but I told some jokes too. Do you remember the jokes?" Like, I want my material to be as good as my crowd work. I want them to be on the same level.
Right,
you know?
right.
When you write the joke, I want the joke to hit. I want people to remember my jokes. I know how to work a crowd now, so that's like. I know what to do with that.
Yeah.
And I use that, you know, in case these jokes ain't working. Like, I can't just walk off, especially if you're getting paid for the show, so I got to do something.
That shit you said at the show last week about you went to the strip club with the mask.
Oh, yeah.
When you went to the strip, that's really what was going on? It was that crazy? Like they were...
No, I lied completely. It was a complete lie.
He's talking about being real. And then he's like, oh, that was all fake.
The crowd work is something that I really like to see too, because it's like from an audience member perspective, watching somebody like hit crowd work like right off the top of their head is always remarkable to watch. It's just really, really cool. Like I also really respect like really well-crafted jokes, but seeing somebody like nail some crowd work is like, damn.
Yeah, but in the business, like amongst comics and your peers, that could be labeled as lazy.
Well, I don't have friends, but as
they could. But I always admired being able to go up there and be naturally funny. But it's hard.
Yeah, it's not just that to your peers, but bookers actually.
Yeah,
and
that happens
people
a lot.
that you want to go to rooms because they were like, okay, but how can you? I want to see a solid. If I'm booking you for 30 minutes, I want to see that you have 30 minutes that works.
Because if your crowd work don't work, they want to know you got
Because sometimes
killer.
you have a crowd.
Got it. Yep, I understand.
Yeah, crowd work. It's a give and take. Like, so if I'm asking questions, and I get a response, and then I give the joke. If they're not talking, then you're not doing crowd work. You're kind of talking to yourself. And then now what do you do? So now you need your jokes to carry.
That happens a lot. I mean, the one thing that kind of scared me. Did you see that video that went viral? I think it was like last year or the year before, where there was no security at a show. And dude went up there and tried that. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, and fought the dude.
Oh my God, yo,
Yeah,
bro, this was crazy. This was crazy. He started like fucking with an audience member, and the dude, I guess, was drinking, and there was no security at the show, and they straight up like. He broke the mic stand, the audience member. He started like launching the mic stand at the comedian. He was like dunking. He had the microphone in his hand. The bottom of the mic, that real heavy piece.
Yeah.
He launched it at him and hit the backdrop. It broke. Like, I don't mean to laugh. God, like it's just scary.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be with crowd work. You gotta be to the point where you could insult somebody in a very playful manner that you just met.
Right, yeah.
Some people, that don't go on. That
You have to know how far to go. Some people go too far. And if you guys want to see that video, Steve was the one in the audience.
No, I would never. Absolutely not. No, I don't hit when there's cameras rolling. All right, that's our episode. Number 3.
Yes.
We did it.
Check it out. Subscribe. Do the views. Tell your friends about us.
He sounds like an old man that don't know how to go about this. But we're going to try to put like information. I'm going to try to talk Brian into like putting information like an Instagram.
Yeah, we can do all that.
When we have all that and what type of things they can get the podcast on. Man, we sound like some.
He's talking to you like a boss, right?
No. I'm gonna
Where's
I'm
the
gonna
rage?
throw him a little bit more scuttle.
Scuttle?
Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
All right. See you later.